for watching the latest episode of N.P.V from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's get it.
Like I said, the Chiefs are relying too much on Patrick Mahomes. They're relying too much on Travis, and they don't have the plethora of receiving weapons that they have. Patrick does not trust that offensive line at all. Their defense did show up and play, and they damn near won the game for the Chiefs. But for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, and for the first time since 2014, basically 11 years, the Chiefs have started off 0-2. Eagles are now, I believe, 2-0. They look like they don't look like the Super Bowl champions of last year. They're struggling offensively to start off the season, but they're still managing to win games. And if they can still manage to do what they're doing now, by the time the middle part of the season and the take-home part of the season, week 16, 17, when the going gets tough and you need the Eagles to play well, Eagles are going to be fine and they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be, honestly, the third seed. I think the Packers might finish with the number 1 seed. I still think my Niners are going to be in contention for the 1 or 2 seed, to be completely honest with you. Our schedule is very easy, and we're going to get into that game next. But realistically, the Eagles this year, I think they'll lose to the Packers either in the conference championship game or the divisional round. I think the Packers are a much better team than the Eagles are this year with the additions of Michael Parsons. Their defense looks incredible. Moving on to the Niners-Saints, Mac Jones coming in for an injured Brock Purdy. We didn't have Brandon Ayuk out there. We didn't have George Kittle out there, but we still had Juwan Jennings. We still had CMC. We still had Sticky Ricky Pearsall. And Mac looked incredible. He threw the ball 39 times for 26 for 39 completions, or 26 completions out of 39 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 279 yards. This is the guy that we should have drafted rather than Trey Lance, and I don't understand why we didn't draft him. I would have preferred the Niners either had drafted Justin Fields or Mac Jones, but we didn't, and now he's here. He's here, replacing an injured Brock Purdy, who I still think plays better under pressure situations. We got to see how Mac Jones does under pressure situations. We have a fourth quarter defense as well, ladies and gentlemen. I said it last week when we played the Seattle Seahawks. If this was the year before under Nick Swanson, we would have lost that game. This is a Bob Saleh defense. We're closing out games when we need to close them out. If our offense can't put the nail in the coffin, our defense can come out there and stop the other team's offense if it's a close game. The Niners, the Niners are going to be carried by their defense this year, and if Mac Jones can play similar to this while Brock Purdy's out, I think the Niners are going to be fine. We have to remember to hold our horses here. It was against the Saints, who were riddled with injuries as well. And their playmakers, their top playmakers, left a few plays out there on the field. Our defense has to play a little bit better than what we played this week. But when it mattered the most, they showed up. We closed them out. Spencer Rattler looks like, as time progresses, is going to be more comfortable in that offense. So the Saints should be ecstatic with even though it was a loss. Spencer Rattler has a bright future ahead of him. I know he only threw for 207 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns in this game with no interceptions. Their offensive line and their receivers at times let them down, to be completely honest with you. So the Saints are going to be fine with Spencer Rattler at quarterback, especially because he put up a decent stat line against my Niners defense, who I think this year with Bob Saleh and the pieces we have on that defensive side, D. Winters looks fucking phenomenal. We still got Fred Warner out there. We have the rookie Mikael Williams. Nick Bosa's out there, who's fucking looking phenomenal. Jair Brown's out there killing it. I think Malik is still dealing with an injury, so we're waiting for Malik Mustafa to come back, but we still got Renardo Green. We still got Diamador Lenore. We got players out there, Upton Stout, who I know got injured, but he's a rookie and he's playing as well. We got players on that defensive side of the ball, and the Niners defense is going to be carrying the team for the majority of the season. We have to, in my honest opinion, split the carries a little bit more between CMC and Brian Robinson. We got lucky that we didn't have to use CMC tremendously running the ball, but we still gave him a good amount of touches when as a receiver with the bubble screens when we needed him the most. We need to find a way to limit CMC for the long haul. If we really want to compete and win a championship this year, or just make it to the playoffs, we need CMC to be 1,000% in the long run. If I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, give me a second here. Other than that, Alvin Kamara had a stellar game. He fumbled the ball in a critical moment on our Niners on the Niners side of the field, and ultimately, I think those little things was what cost them the game. It was literally the Saints playmakers not coming up with the plays when they needed them to come up with the plays the most. Mac Jones, will see if he can continue this into week 3. I haven't checked to see who we're up against next, but I'm ecstatic. Mac Jones with Kyle Shanahan as his play caller and what we have on both sides of the ball. I know we don't have big names right now, but they're good, talented players that are on the team for a reason, and they're going to develop. Just give them some time. They will develop. Another game that I predicted and was wrong about was the Steelers. Was the Steelers-Seahawks game today, where they actually the Seahawks should have lost that game. Steelers were in it. Steelers dominated for the majority of that game. Their defense and their special teams cost them the game, putting Aaron Rodgers in a position where he had to force the ball at the end, and ultimately you're not going to do anything when you got to force the ball, especially against Mike McDonald, who is a brilliant defensive mind. To be defensive-minded head coach, and there's a reason he damn near stopped our team in week 1, where we beat them, I think 17-14. My Niners offense. Granted, we were dealing with a lot of injuries, but Mike McDonald can call a defense, and that defense was literally responsible for them winning this game. I understand the score was, I think it was, what was it? The score was 31-17. Aaron Rodgers didn't look like Aaron Rodgers looked like in week 1, to be completely honest. And Sam Darnold, decent showing. I will say he had a decent showing. 22 of 33 for 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Pittsburgh defense played decent at times, but at the end, in crucial situations, they didn't come up clutch. They didn't come up clutch. Aaron Rodgers was 18 for 33, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. At the end, that last pick, it was just him trying to force the ball. To be completely honest with you, in a situation to try to make a play. But somebody needs to. Are they going to cut the kick returner? Are they going to cut him? We don't know. We don't know. That play, literally, where I forget what the kick returner's name is, but how are you not gonna field the ball if it touches you, bro? It's a live ball. The opposing team can go after it. The only thing that I think has changed with the new the kickoff rules is how they do it. Not necessarily anything else. Literally, if you touch the ball, it is a live ball. Go fucking get the ball, or else the other team can get it and take over possession. I don't think that's ever changed. And clearly, that wasn't communicated to the kick returner. And it cost them the game. It cost them the game, put the defense in a horrible situation because now they're playing – they're putting the offense in a bad situation because now you're forcing Aaron Rodgers to go and make a play. Then when he can't, you're literally going 3 and out, bringing your defense back who's probably tired and gassed, and then they're gonna score again on that defense, and you're gonna put your offense back out there in a bad situation. Overall, I was wrong. I thought the Steelers were gonna smack the Seahawks, but they didn't. It looks like the NFC West is going to be tough, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Denver Broncos versus the Colts. They covered. I was right about it being I was right about the Broncos covering because I think it was a +1.5. I had the Broncos +1.5. But the Colts ultimately won. I thought the Broncos were ultimately going to win that game. I thought, to be completely honest with you, I thought Bo Nix was going to be a better quarterback. I thought the defense of the Broncos was substantially better than the Colts defense. And I also thought Daniel Jones was going to revert back. I thought Indiana Manning Jones, because that is his new name. His new name is Indiana Manning Jones, was going to revert back to being Daniel Jones. That didn't happen. He was Indiana Manning Jones today, ladies and gentlemen. Playing like Peyton Manning. He threw 316 yards and a touchdown, 23 completions on 34 attempts. Taking care of the football. They fucking handed that rock off to Jonathan Taylor 25 times for 165 yards. I thought the Broncos defense was going to play better. I thought Bo Nix was going to be better. Granted, he did throw for 3 touchdowns. He had a bad interception. He only threw for 206 yards. They've struggled moving the ball in Denver today, ladies and gentlemen. Regardless of what the scoreline may dictate, I think they struggled. Bo Nix is struggling a little bit. And I was surprised. Good for Daniel Jones. He has saved his NFL career. 1,000% saved his NFL career because I thought he was washed. I thought he was done, and I thought it was a mistake to go with Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson, who, in my opinion, because of being able to win games with him, was the much better option over Daniel Jones. However, they went with Daniel Jones, and it looks like Daniel Jones is working wonders for them, and kudos to him. Indiana Manning Jones having a stellar performance, having the Colts off to a 2-0 start after the death of Jim Irsay. He must be smiling up in heaven right now. The Broncos, I think they can still compete for the division, but they got a lot of work to do, especially Bo Nix. They can't just depend on their defense to carry them. They need a little bit more productive play from Bo Nix at this point. And I think they're going to get it. I think Sean Payton's going to coach him up, and I think they're ultimately going to get it. The last game from my Flaming 5 NFL Week 2 picks is the Detroit Lions versus the Bears. I thought the Bears were going to cover. I thought the Bears were going to play better. I believed the Bears had a shot at competing, but the Lions were ultimately going to win. I am all out on the Bears. Fuck that. Selling all my Caleb Williams stock. he does not see the field properly. He is struggling when he has to make plays. There was literally, oh, hello. Guys, Bears just like sold me. Guys, Bears just like sold me. I don't know, but I'm selling my stock on the Bears. I believed in Caleb Williams' progression. I don't think Ben Johnson believes in the Bears to be complete, or not the Bears, in Caleb Williams. I think we're going to see Tyler Sargent out there. And honestly, I think Sargent's going to play better, or Sargent or Bajent, but he's going to play better than Caleb Williams. If they give him the opportunity from everything coming out, and they gave him a contract, they gave him a legitimate contract. Yes, Jalen did get injured, but Caleb was forcing the ball. Caleb was forcing the ball going off script, and you saw the frustration on Ben Johnson out there. They got blown out 52-21. And here, let's just look at the numbers, bro. Let's look at the numbers. Where is it? Box score. I didn't think Jared Goff was actually going to have a game like this, especially because I didn't think their play calling was going to be substantially as good as it was last year with Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is actually calling a decent game. I think you guys have the right head coach in Ben Johnson. The future is bright in Chicago. I just don't think you guys have the right quarterback. And that's the issue. It's either his personality or him trying to do too much in Chicago. And we saw this back when he was at USC. Why am I struggling to say what it is? He likes to go off script too much and force the ball in areas that he shouldn't be forcing the ball. Took Josh Allen 3 years to get good. Yes, but that organization in Buffalo had Sean McDermott and stability. Do you believe Caleb Williams can be Josh Allen? I don't think Caleb Williams is Josh Allen. He has not shown us Josh Allen in his first year. Josh Allen still had a couple of instances in his first year where we thought, okay, he's going to progress and become who he ultimately became. Caleb has pieces around him. Don't get me wrong. For him to go 19-30, 207, 2 touchdowns, and a bad pick, he's holding on to the ball way too long. Questions, what's your favorite team? My favorite team's the Niners. I've said it. Follow the channel. Bang, bang, Niner game for life. I was surprised Mac Jones actually played as well as he did. We got carried by the defense because he looked bad at the beginning of that game. I was surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised that the Eagles were going to beat the Chiefs. What I was banking on in the North was the Green Bay Packers winning your division. Then I was banking on a drastic drop-off by the Lions to finish third. I was still guessing the Bears were going to finish fourth. And then who was my second place team? No. Lions second, Vikings third. Vikings will have to progress, and J.J. McCarthy's got a ways to go. I didn't understand why the Vikings took J.J. McCarthy last year. Granted, I understand he was a national champion, but he didn't necessarily have to do much. He had to hand the ball off while he was at Michigan. Then when he got to the NFL, he has all the right pieces around him to do a lot of great things. However, he wasn't asked to throw the ball, so his pocket presence is not there. He's got a long ways to go. I think he's got a couple of years before we get to see the full abilities of J.J. McCarthy. Now, he could be like Caleb Williams, where we're going into the end of the season and he's just not that guy. Last year, Caleb was criticized because of his lack of leadership ability. And based on everything that was coming out of camp this year, Ben Johnson himself basically advocating for Tyler Bajent, saying he's been playing well, and basically being overly critical, in my opinion, of Caleb Williams. How much time? How much time with the talent that you have in Chicago do you think it's going to take for Caleb to develop? Do you think Ben Johnson is going to give him that time, or do you think he's going to go to Tyler Bagent? Because I honestly think Tyler Bagent's a decent backup. I think Tyler Bagent can win you guys some actual games if Caleb doesn't develop. I really do. You guys have a legit running back in DeAndre Swift. You guys have legit receivers in Romeo Odunze and DJ Moore. You guys are deep. You guys are deep. There's no reason why you guys can't be competing for a wild card spot. Now, last week when you guys faced the Vikings, he couldn't adjust in the second quarter, or not the second, in the second half. Well, that's what Caleb likes. The play calls were mostly play action because that's what Caleb likes. Literally, if you've listened to the reports that have came out last year, the play calling was mostly play action because that's what Caleb Williams likes to run. That's what he likes to do. And if you can't execute what you like to do, then maybe you need to stop doing it, right? Like, come on. Like, thank you. See, you understand. But again, maybe it's something up here mentally that's holding Caleb back. I think he has it. He has the ability. He just doesn't see the field like Ben Johnson wants him to see the field. It's going to take him some time, but maybe by the middle of the season, by November, if these issues are continuing, we will see Tyler Bagent out there. Maybe it is. Maybe it is, and maybe maybe Eberflus was the one that fucked him up, to be completely honest with you. Because your offensive line, I think, is fine. I think Caleb has a lot of time in that pocket to get rid of the football to where he needs to get rid of it. I just honestly think it's because of the lack of coaching he had at UFC, because Lincoln Riley, I don't think, did a good job coaching him up. And that carried over to the NFL under Matt Eberflus last year. And rather than coaching him up, they let him basically do what he wanted to do. Didn't necessarily hold him accountable. Basically, were banking just on his talent alone. And now this year under Ben Johnson, who is trying to keep that team accountable, and he is doing a phenomenal job in my honest opinion. I like Ben Johnson, to be completely honest with you. I think he's going to get them right. I think he might get Caleb Williams right, and he's going to coach him up. And if he doesn't, you're going to get rid of Caleb, and you're going to keep Ben Johnson, and you're going to find the right quarterback that works with him, that's going to take you guys to where you guys want to be. And that's the playoffs, maybe the NFC Championship game, eventually a Super Bowl. But you have to bank on Ben Johnson being that head coach. And from everything I've seen, everything I've heard, he is that guy. Number 14 on the Bears mostly gets the balls. Some miscommunication. Not the Arch Manning. No, you don't want Arch Manning. Arch Manning this is the thing about Arch Manning. Arch Manning, the Mannings came out already and said he was going back to college football next year. Mainly because I think they themselves saw that Arch was not ready for pro football. He's still learning. He's still developing. Last year, he played against nobodies when he replaced Quinn Ewers. This year, he's actually leading the team. I think Arch Manning this year is going to be an up and down year where he's developing, and next year, Arch Manning is going to actually take a step forward to where all the hype that surrounded him he's going to live up to it. If not, he's going to be similar to Eli Manning, right? He won't be like Peyton. He'll be like Eli. He'll eventually get drafted. He won't get drafted in the first round. He might because he's a Manning, to be completely honest with you. But he could drop all the way down to the third, fourth, fifth round eventually, get picked up, get an opportunity to develop, learn, and maybe play someday. But that's what it looks like Arch Manning is doing right now. But I'm banking on the positives here. That's what I'm banking on. It's just depressing that last year after the... Yeah, I get that. It was, yeah. I mean, for us too, Niner fans, man, after CMC went out and basically our defense, for us it was our defense last year. We had no fourth quarter defense. We would have 2-score leads, and our defense couldn't close games out, and it was just depressing. It was very depressing for us last year. For you guys, you guys should be very optimistic. I still think Ben Johnson and your team has a very bright future. I don't know if Caleb Williams is the guy, but hey, Tyler Bagent, from what I saw from Bagent before Caleb got there, I thought Bagent had a lot of potential, and I would have loved to seen Bagent get a real fair shot in Chicago, and we might actually get to see that with this year with Ben Johnson. Bro, Greenlaw's the fucking. I love Greenlaw, bro. We have D Winters now. D Winters be looking like fucking Dre Greenlaw, heat-seeking missile out there, bro. He was all over the Saints today, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Anytime any Saints player caught the ball, we were on top of their ass, beating it. Our defensive Bryce Huff, who struggled last year with the Eagles, who they got rid of because he sucked for them, clutched the game for us today in San Francisco. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. God bless Fred Warner. Someday he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if that's going to be this year. I would love it to be. I thought last year, with how impactful he was for our defense, he should have won it. However, we had no fourth quarter defense and we couldn't compete. And regardless of everything, the strip sacks, the interceptions, the whatever Fred did last year, regardless of whatever he did, he was literally the only one, like Trey Hendrickson on the Bengals, that was carrying the defense, and he can't play cornerback, he can't play safety, he can't play all the other defensive positions. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, actually, let's talk about Joe Burrow's injury. He's injured again. The Bengals won that game with Jake Browning, and they were down 14-7. Bears do have a bright future. I'm not going to say they don't. They have a bright future. Your Bears offense is deep. Don't forget that. You got a run game. You got receivers. I think you got an offensive line. I just think Caleb can't read it yet. And if he does read it with the ability that he's shown, you'll be fine. But if he doesn't, Tyler Bagent's your guy. Tyler Bagent's your guy until you actually draft one. But back to the Joe Burrow situation. I am genuinely surprised. Well, not genuinely surprised. Joe Burrow gets injured every single year. But to be getting turf toe and now you might be out for 3 months, he can't catch a break. He played in the preseason just so they could get a flow. And granted, it's kind of worked out for the Bengals, right? They're 2-0 right now. They were down 14-7 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's up with Jacksonville blowing that game to a backup that threw 3 picks? 3 picks, still coming back and winning. Jacksonville got issues, defensive issues, because this year, Trevor Lawrence with Brian Cohen, I understand they had a little mix-up on the sideline, but he's playing better. Trevor Lawrence is playing better, earning his fucking money. Will they win something? I don't know. But how do you lose that game? Jake Browning is out there. He's throwing you the ball, and you still come out and come up short. I know the Bengals have a plethora. Ooh, Caleb has to become primed. What Caleb needs to do. Sorry, I'm going into my rants, but I'm also looking at the chat. What Caleb needs to do is be able to adjust in the second half when the defenses adjust. He comes out good with scripted plays. It's when he has to go off script that he struggles. And we've seen that in back-to-back weeks, and we saw that a lot last year. He's not able to read defensives in the second half. He's still learning how to do it. I think the expectations for him coming out of college were just over. They overhyped him too much, and they didn't give him proper expectations. I'm still an advocate of players sitting and developing and giving them time to learn and develop. Really? Are you in high school or college? Okay. That's what's up, man. Any dreams or aspirations to do anything bigger? Sorry, I'm still gonna get it. Well, this is also another thing. Did you study film? Because Caleb, like Kyler Murray, has issues studying film, and that's also been something that's reported. If you look, I think it was reported that his tablet time, he wasn't necessarily on his tablet all too often. Kid, you're gonna go places with that confidence. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops, brother. Um, but Joe Burrow, so somebody that can read defenses is Joe Burrow, but what he can't seem to be able to do is stay healthy, and I think that's ultimately going to cost the Bengals this season. I think that's ultimately going to cost the Bengals this season. Even if Joe Burrow comes back, his timing and his rhythm is going to be way off at that point in the season. Everything's going to be fast. It takes a minute for people to be able to come back to full speed football after an injury like that. His mobility is not going to be there. You're right. Ben Johnson is a great coach, but not the quarterback so much. Um, but Trevor Lawrence, Let's go back to the Bengals Jaguars game. Trevor Lawrence had 24-42, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 sack. Their offensive line is legit. They have a run game too in Jacksonville. Their offense is not the issue anymore. It's now their defense being able to hold teams to under 30 points so their offense can put up 27, 25, 24. If they can hold them under 25 points, I think the Jaguars are going to be fine. That's going to be hard to do considering what their schedule looks like. Now, the Bengals are going to have to rely on Jake Browning. Jake Browning, a guy that saved them on multiple occasions. He's still there. Jake Browning can win them some football games. Will they compete for the division? I don't think so. I think they'll compete for a playoff spot with Jake Browning. I think their defense is going to take steps in the right direction, but I think the Bengals season ultimately is now essentially over with Joe Burrow being hurt and out for multiple months. Especially with how the North looks with Lamar Jackson. Have you seen how he's playing? Have you seen how Josh Allen is playing in the East? The Giants-Cowboys game was fucking crazy, guys. The Kirby Joseph pick from Caleb told me, yes, we are fucked. Yes, I feel that. Oh, by the way, really quick Bears fan, you guys also took my kicker, Jake Moody. Why would you get Jake Moody? Cairo Santos is a much better kicker than Jake Moody. Bad organizations do questionable things sometimes, and maybe right now the Bears are just a bad organization. I'm sorry, brother. I'm very sorry for what you're dealing with. If you are going to Jake Moody to try to figure a solution to your kicking issues, then you have no clue what you are doing. That's all I'm saying. I just lost my brain cells. Yeah, I lost my brain cells too. I was like that. What? I'm not going to lie. I thought Jake Moody's NFL career was over. And here we are, Chicago Bears saving the young man. Good for him. Russell Wilson, however, with the New York Giants, turned back the clock, ladies and gentlemen. He went 30 of 41 for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a crucial pick at the end of the game that basically set up a Aubrey. What's his name? Brett Aubrey? Is that his name? Brett Aubrey? What's his name? Kicking Brandon Aubrey. That set up a Brandon Aubrey game-winning field goal in overtime to clutch it for the Cowboys, 40-37. On multiple occasions, I'll be real with you. I wanted this game to end in a tie. I didn't want any of these teams to lose because that game was so entertaining. The back and forth. The Giants looking like they were going to actually win this game, and then the Cowboys fighting back, and then Brandon Aubrey hitting a 60-yarder for it to go into overtime, and then you got Russell Wilson looking like prime Russell Wilson, and then at the end he throws a crucial just ball, like just tosses it up. That cost them that just cost the Giants. Look, the New York Giants are going to be fine under Russell Wilson. We saw, granted, it's the Cowboys who have no pass rush anymore because Micah's gone. All they're doing, and again, they are stopping the run. They only allowed, I think, 84 yards rushing in this game. They didn't allow, I think, over 100 last week against the Eagles either, or maybe they allowed over 100, but they held Saquon to under 100. So they're stopping the run. They can't get to the quarterback. So quarterbacks are just back there picking them apart left and right. And that they made Russell Wilson look phenomenal. And if Russell Wilson has time in that pocket, the New York Giants are going to be fine. The Dallas Cowboys, I honestly think, are going to be fine. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to ultimately look like geniuses for getting rid of Micah Parsons. I know right now Cowboys fans may think, oh my God, that was a huge mistake. Why? Thank you. Like, you heard the Packers fans say thank you, Jerry, right? Yeah, he's on the practice squad. Now, if he gets elevated to your the main roster, you guys are completely fucked, and you guys are losing every single game where you have to rely on Jake Moody to hit a field goal, extra point, any kick. You have to bank on Jake Moody kicking for you. I'm just telling you right now, he's gonna miss it, and you guys are gonna probably lose those games. Left, right, or upright. I'm not trying to hear something starting with left, right, or upright. That's funny. Dak carrying the Dallas Cowboys. They have a running game. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. That seems to be working. Javonte Williams coming out there. He had 18 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown. My little brother picked him up on fantasy because my waiver didn't go through. I should have Javonte Williams on my fantasy football team. That's one thing the Dallas Cowboys always have, and that is a serviceable running back. I know Rico Dowdle wasn't that great last year, but he was still serviceable. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, both serviceable running backs in my honest opinion. Dak, it doesn't matter if it's Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, or Brian Schottenheimer. Dak is going to be Dak, and he's going to be solid. Dak is good. The issue with the Cowboys is honestly Jerry Jones and the way that he runs the team and all the attention that he brings to that team. The Cowboys are fine. I think their defense actually is going to be better without Micah Parsons, at least when it comes to stopping the run. I think their offense is going to be fine. I think they have great receivers in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. They have a great quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's a top 10, top 15 quarterback in my honest opinion. Is he overhyped at times? Yes. He's not a playoff quarterback, but he's for sure a regular season quarterback. Cowboys are going to be fine. I think they're going to be the third place team in their division, but they're still going to be competing for a playoff spot in my honest opinion. I think either the Eagles or the Washington Commanders end up winning the division this year. Realistically, I think the Eagles managed to be the first team in over 20 years to win the NFC East in back-to-back years. Yeah, at least CD knows how to catch. That's one thing the Saints receivers need to work on. Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson, man, both they had opportunities against my Niners to put up points, to make plays, and we got lucky that they dropped multiple passes that were going their way where they had an open field, where they had basically open field. If they caught it, they had an open field to go and score a touchdown, basically. Other than that, also, last game I want to talk about, Patriots Dolphins game. That closed door meeting, even though the Dolphins ended up losing that game against the Patriots, it worked. It got the offense right. Now they need to work on their defense, but Tua looked like Tua Tagovailoa. Hold on. You got to clarify your last comment. You want the Chargers? What Chargers? Oh, my predictions for the Chargers tomorrow? I'll tell you my predictions for the Chargers tomorrow. Or are you talking about the Chargers Chiefs? But hold on. Patriots Dolphins game. In regards to that game, Patriots Dolphins, Patriots surprised me. Drake May actually went out there and balled out, in my honest opinion. Drake May was 19 to 23 for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Got sacked 3 times, but he showed up when he needed to. He's developing. What's his name? Josh McDaniels, getting the best out of his quarterback, developing him, helping him, establishing him. Josh McDaniels is the solution for the Patriots offense, and Mike Vrabel, he's the solution as the head coach there. He's gonna have them competing night in and night out. Oh, are you talking about Johnston? Josh Johnston from the Los Angeles Chargers? Is that who you're talking about, brother? Also, Tua came out. I keep going back and forth. I'm trying to interact with the person that's in the chat. Quentin Johnston. Oh, Quentin Johnston. Yeah. I picked him up on my fantasy team. I'm hoping for great things this year. He's developing. I understand he had a couple of drops, but he's developing, and it looks like what's his name? Justin Herbert is going to continue to go at Quentin Johnston even if he drops 1 or 2 balls. I think he's going to be crucial for the Chargers' success this year, in my honest opinion. But hold on. Let's finish this Dolphins-Patriots game real quick. Tua, 26 of 32, 315, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. That relationship with Tyreek Hill, I think, needs to improve a little bit more. Because I feel like he isn't targeting Tyreek Hill enough. And if he targets Tyreek enough, they're going to win games. Dolphins are going to be fine. I think they're going to compete. They're going to be a competitive team this year once their defense gets it going. Overall, the AFC East is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun watch, in my honest opinion. Madison Beer. Oh, Lord. Now, my preview for tomorrow's game, actually. Where are we going here? All right, so tomorrow we got Chargers versus the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders at home. The reason why I'm taking the Raiders, being a Browns fan is worse, to be honest. Yeah, I feel bad for the Browns. Browns have been bad for so long. And by the way, they also got Deshaun Watson coming back at some point this year. He's been training. He looks fine. He looks healthy. So that's going to be another controversial topic at some point we're going to hear about or talk about later this year. Diddy Watson. Oh, my God. He said Diddy Watson. I'm dying over here, man. Oh, Lord. All right, so preview for tomorrow's game. We got the Chargers versus the Raiders, and we got the Buccaneers versus the Texans. Raiders-Chargers, I'm taking the Raiders. Historically, Pete Carroll has owned Jim Harbaugh, and I think that owning is going to continue into this year. Raiders are going to be 2-0 for the first time in a long time. Chargers going to be 1-1. That's only because I genuinely believe Pete Carroll just has Jim Harbaugh's number. It doesn't matter if it's college football. It doesn't matter if it's the NFL. I remember when Jim was in San Francisco and Pete was in Seattle, and those games were stressful. Those games were very stressful. Chargers have a better quarterback. Chargers have better wide receivers. Chargers have a solid defense. The Raiders, because they got Pete Carroll, because he knows how to scheme against Jim Harbaugh, are going to be the ones that ultimately beat the Chargers in tomorrow's game, in my honest opinion. I'm taking the Raiders plus 3.5. And then Buccaneers versus Texans, I am taking in that game the Houston Texans to lose against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I honestly just think the Buccaneers are a little bit healthier. I think Baker Mayfield's having a better season. Not better season, but a better run the last 2 years than C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is going through some sort of funk, man. C.J. Stroud has not been good since last year. All of his weapons went out. And even this year with his weapons back, because he got Nico Collins, he got Tank Dell, he's got Nick Chubb out there. He's got pieces around him. He's still struggling. And I don't know if they're waiting for Joe Mixon to come back and pair him up with Nick Chubb. I don't know what's going on there, but I think the Buccaneers with Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, the rookie Egubaka, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Chris Godwin. I think the Buccaneers are gonna run Houston out of Texas, in my honest opinion, and I think the Bucs get the win down there in Houston. You think Emeka Egbuka? Hey, he took some of the touches away from Mike Evans last week, which kind of frustrated me because Mike Evans is a receiver on my fantasy football team. So Baker, if anything, if all else goes wrong, throw it to Mike Evans, please. I need some touchdown points. I need some points really, really badly. I'm down 40 points, Baker. Trusting you, bud. Believe in you, bud. Got me. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this latest episode of N1 from the End Zone with your boy, King N.P.V. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Always remember, desire is power. If you have the desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching the latest episode. I will see y'all next time. And my guy, the Chicago Bears fan, Mike Evans better get 1,000 yards for the. He will. Put money on it. You'll win some. Mike Evans for 1,000 yards this year. Bet money on it. Now I will see y'all next time.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Production is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, you're watching the Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
The one thing nice I'll say about the Bears is you got the right head coach, you got a bright future, you got a great plethora of receivers, you got a good run game. Caleb learns how to read it, you'll be fine. But if he doesn't, Tyler Bajan is your guy. See you next time.